Okay, we'll begin the Wednesday, April 8th, 2026 Montachusett Joint Transportation Committee. Let's do with introductions. I see myself, I'm the chair, Robert J. Swartz. Chelsea Prentice, where are you from? You're on mute.
Hi, sorry. Chelsea Patrice, Executive Director of the Health Equity Partnership for North Central Mass.
Okay. Tyler Gooden, Godin.
Hi, Tyler Godin. I'm a principal planner at the Montachusett Regional Planning Commission.
And George is part of the MRPC,
Yeah,
as well as Brian.
George Stowe, RPC staff.
Yep.
Yep, and Brian Doherty, MRPC.
Are there any public comments? I see nobody from the public on there. So we'll consider that a passed item 2. Need a
So,
motion to, go ahead, Brian.
Bob, I do see some more people.
All right, we'll wait a
Yeah.
minute or two.
Well, do you want me to call who I see? I see Grace Belmont.
Hi, everybody. I'm with the transportation team at MRPC.
Okay.
And Michael Yaboa,
I'm Michael Yabua. I'm with Mart.
Sarah Bradbury,
Yeah, hi, I'm Sarah Bradbury with MassDOT District 3.
Janet Tice,
Hi there, Janet Tice, Shirley Planning Board.
Miranda Briseno,
Hi, Marina Briseno, MassDOT Transportation Planning.
Daryl Amaral,
Hey, good afternoon. Daryl Amaral, Mass DOT District 2 Planner.
and Nicholas Erickson.
Hi, good afternoon. Nick Erickson, City of Fitchburg, DPW.
Okay, that's all I see.
Good. Item number 3 on the agenda is approval of the March 11, 2026 minutes. Can I have a motion to approve? A motion from anybody? Or I'll move. How's that? I'll move to approve the minutes.
I second
Okay. Any
Michael.
discussions? I see or hear none. So for the lack of any input or questions, we'll consider them approved. Item 4, 2026-2030 Transportation Improvement Program, the TIP. Brian, you got that?
Yep. And so before we get into the discussion on the development tip, which we've been discussing over the last few months, the NPO did put out a proposed amendment for a 21-day public comment period at their meeting last month. This is proposed amendment number 3. This relates to just one project on the highway side. We're currently in the public comment period, which ends on Friday. There have not yet been any comments related to this project, and this is a project that actually spans 2 regions. You can see some information on the summary here. This is Harvard to Concord guide and traffic sign replacement on a section of Route 2. Basically, what has happened with this project is it's seen a cost increase. It's significant. And the reason for that is that this original estimate stems from when it was initiated in 2020. At the time, it didn't include any contingencies or related items that's usually used in these estimated calculations. It would have made the original cost higher. Currently, we're still reflecting that original cost in the tip of 734,000. The new estimated cost is 1.845 million, which is a variance of 1.1 million. So it's significant on paper, but the reason for that is the things that I've mentioned so far in the original estimates. Additionally, the design scope has changed quite a bit since 2020, which has increased the cost. And also the prices of aluminum and steel have dramatically increased since that time. Those are used to fabricate the panels, the posts, structures, that type of thing, and also just the lead time required for this project has been extended, which increases the cost. So again, this is a cost increase for this project. This is known as Amendment Number 3. It's currently out for public comment. It'll come back before the MPO next week at their meeting, and they'll vote to whether or not to endorse. Staff suggestion will be to endorse. Typically, as we typically do, we bring this for either informational purposes or to make a recommendation to the JTC. This is just to share information, or if you'd like, we would recommend a recommendation to the MPO to endorse at next week's meeting. So again, I know it's a significant increase and there's a lot of information here. So this can be for informational purposes as well. There's not a needed action with this item. That's all the information that I have. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out, or the MPO will be looking at this next week, as we typically do with these amendments. And I don't anticipate any comments coming in, but you never know. And we'll vote whether or not to endorse next week at the MPO meeting.
So you want a motion to endorse this to the MPO?
If you're comfortable, yeah, that would be what we typically do. Staff does recommend that. We've
Okay.
reviewed this material, and there's a reason for the cost increase, and
Obviously.
these changes will have to be made to make it go through.
I make a motion that we endorse the motion and recommend it to the MPO.
Second.
Any further discussion? I see or hear none. And for lack of input, we'll consider it passed. Accepted.
All right, thank you. And just as a reminder, we've typically done things via consensus with this group, so
Yep,
that works, Bob. Thank you.
that's why I did it that way.
Right, thank you.
Item number 5, 2027-2031 Transportation Improvement Program. Brian?
Okay, so this is the major item we've been discussing over the last few months. This is our transportation improvement program for the region, a federally required document that lists all transportation investments in the region. It's one of the more important things that the MPO does, and the JTC has kind of been along with the development process, getting updates month to month. We actually have a full draft ready. We plan on presenting this to the MPO next week, and hopefully I think they will send it out for a 21-day public comment period, just as we had anticipated doing on the schedule we went over. It's a fairly large document. It's actually in our handouts. I just put it in. We finished it this morning. It goes beyond the projects we've been reviewing over the last few months. There's a lot of analysis required, references to legislation. I'm just scrolling through to give you the idea of how large it is. If you're interested, it's available in our handouts. What we've been discussing for the most part is where the MPO has discretion over project placement, one specific section called the regional priority section. So if you remember last month and the month before, I've kind of gone into details on the situation we're in. We've seen large cost increases with a number of these projects, which have affected our budget. It's a fiscally constrained document, so changes had to be made. We've been in the background meeting with various project proponents and Mass DOT and design consultants, seeing what's possible. Some of the issues that we've dealt with this year are not so different than in past years in terms of cost increases, designs not being on schedule, that type of thing. The difference is this year, the cost increases have been drastic. So a lot of changes have been made. We've been busy reaching out to communities that have these projects to discuss the situation and the effect on their projects. Um, so last month, I presented a scenario that showed a number of projects moving back, some of them multiple years. Uh, since that time, we've been able to rework some things in what I would say was an improvement over last month. Um, we showed two projects last month moving back 2 years. What we've been able to do is change things up a little bit and make room to actually move those projects that were moved back 2 years, only 1 year back. So a minor improvement. It's unfortunate seeing projects move back, but that's kind of the reality of this year. So what we end up is what you see with this list here. And I'll just go over this. And the basis of this is due to fiscal constraints, 5 projects move back 1 year. 1 project drops from the list. 5 projects are what's called advanced constructed over multiple construction seasons, which that makes it a lot easier for us to place projects because we're able to kind of switch money around year to year, make things fit a little bit better. 2 projects that we previously had on this list, we have been able to get on the state prioritized list, which is great because it doesn't affect our budget. Those projects are still funded in the year that they originally were. And then, as I mentioned, 1 project will drop from the list. So what we end up with is in 2027, Ashburnham Road rehab on Route 101, along with Harvard resurfacing and box widening on Air Road. In 2028, the second portion of the Ashburnham Route 101 project, along with reconstruction of John Fitch Highway in Fitchburg, and Clinton reconstruction of Sterling Street. All the projects you see highlighted in the reddish orange color here have been moved back. In 2029, the second portion of the Fitchburg reconstruction of John Fitch Highway project, along with Sterling intersection improvements on 140 and 62. In 2030, Templeton reconstruction of Route 68, Winchendon intersection improvements at Blair Square, Air Road rehab on 2A 111, which is Main Street, and the second portion of the Sterling intersection improvements at 140 and 62 project. The last year of this document, we have 2031, the second portion of the Templeton Route 68 project, and the second portion of the Air Road rehab at 2A and 111 project. Where that leaves us, unfortunately, we have had to drop Westminster roundabout construction at 2A and Barthwick Road due to fiscal constraint. This is also the project that's probably least progressed in design. We just simply cannot fit all the projects that we previously listed within our budget. You can see the balance that we have left in each federal fiscal year is 0. We've spent out all the money allotted to us. With the exception of the last year, 2031, we have a smaller remainder, not enough to fit any projects in. This Westminster project, we have discussed, we plan on continuing discussing the possibility of listing this in the statewide priority list. There is a portion of this project that is on a state jurisdiction roadway, so that could make sense. Perhaps next year that will happen, but this year, this is kind of where we ended up. By virtue of being in the appendix, it basically just goes back into the bullpen. These are all projects that are candidates for placement on a future tip. Again, these changes are necessary because of the cost increases that we've seen in a number of these projects. So that's kind of where we are. The difference between last month and this month is we've been able to move a few of these projects up to closer to where they were previously posted. Additionally, what you see here is the overall highway listing that you'll see in the actual document. This includes projects on state jurisdiction roads. Those are prioritized by Mass DOT. We really haven't talked about those as much because MPO does not have jurisdiction on project placement for these projects. So you can see the projects that we just discussed are listed in section 1A, and I apologize, it's kind of small. This is straight from one of the applications that we use to input into the report. So section 1A is those regional prioritized projects we just discussed. Everything below that is state priority. So these are on state jurisdiction roadways within our region. We can see in 2027 we have a project in Gardner downtown mobility plan. This is actually a grant that Gardner got for a mobility plan through the Federal Highway Build Program. This is federal money, so we're required to list this on our tip, and here it is. Also in 2027, we have Fitchburg Ashby resurfacing related work on Route 31. Harvard Lancaster Bridge replacement, Jackson Road over the Nashua River. In Gardner, bike path bridge construction, North Central Pathway over Route 140. As for state priority in 2028, we have Athol Bridge replacement, Main Street over the G&W Railroad. Fitchburg reconstruction of John Fitch Highway. This is also listed in our regional priority list. This is just a small portion the state's taking on, kind of helping us with the fiscal constraint issue. Harvard Lancaster Bridge replacement, Jackson Road over the Nashua River. That's the second year of that project. Fitchburg to Lancaster, guide and traffic sign replacement on section of Route 2. There's a statewide project here. This is an initiative to make improvements to rapid reflective flashing beacons, including in our region. In Templeton, pavement preservation on Route 2A. In Athol, intersection improvements at 2A and Brookside Road. In 2029, for the state priorities, we have Gardner, Bridge Rehab, Mill Street over Baker Brook. Gardner, Westminster, pavement preservation. It should say Route 2A there. In Fitchburg, a Safe Routes to School project at Memorial Middle School. In 2030, we see from the state priority list just one project, Peter Sam culvert replacement on New Salem Road over a brook. And there are no state priority list projects in our region 2031. As for the transit projects, these are prioritized by MART. So this is the first time we're seeing these. This just came online in recent weeks, so we didn't review these at last month's meeting, but essentially these cover the same 5 federal fiscal years, 2027 through 2031. You can see the projects in detail here. They're tied to a number of federal grant programs. They include things like facility maintenance, vehicle replacement, modernization of the system, operating costs, operating assistance, that type of thing. So again, this is provided in the draft tip document. This is what we have. Again, this month, we'll be suggesting to the MPO to release this for a 21-day public comment period. That's what we're asking of this group is to make that recommendation as well, at which point it'll be available to the public sometime in the next few weeks. And if it is released, we'll review. We typically do receive some comments on this program, so we'll review those in May with the JTC, go over those details, and go from there. So I guess we're looking for a motion to make the recommendation to the MPO to release this for a comment period.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Yep. Well, Bob, I can see your sound is on, but we can't hear you.
That's because I have to have a personal switch on the sound. I heard the motion and a second. Any further discussion? I see or hear none.
All right, thank you. I'll make the mention to the MPO that the JTC recommended to release it. So thank you.
Yes.
And thanks everyone for kind of following along in the last few months. We went over a lot of information, and it's important to have this as a sounding board. If something were to come up, even though it's not always relevant to your day to day, it's important to have this kind of forum.
Item number 6, the fiscal year 2027 Unified Planning Work Program, the UPWP. Is that you,
Okay.
Brian?
Yep. So this will be just a quick update. So this is a NPO staff's work program for federal fiscal year 2027. This is another federally required document and acronym that we go over with this group. Um, we have kind of been on the same schedule as the TIP, anticipating releasing this for a public comment period in April and coming back in May and endorsing. However, we're still waiting for some numbers from, we just recently got some numbers from Federal Transit Administration, but we're waiting for some additional numbers and feedback from Mass DOT before we finalize this and we're ready to send it out for a comment period. So we're opting to kind of push this back into May. You probably remember over the last several months, we've gone over some tasks that we're considering taking on. This allows us to run the NPO, do things like the TIP, do, things that are federally required, like the UPWP and the long range plan, that type of thing. But also we typically try to squeeze some room in the budget for to solicit projects from our community. So we've been doing that as well. We went over some of those last month's meeting in February as well. But for the time being, this is shelved until next month. We expect to have a full document available for review and release for public comment in May. So that's just kind of the update for this month.
Okay, just information, right, Brian?
Yep.
Item number 8. Number 7, Safe Streets for All.
Yep. If you remember back in the fall, we presented our safety action plan for the region. So MRPC was awarded a grant through Federal Highways Safe Street for All program to develop a safety action plan for the Montachusett region. So we worked on that for 2 years. Basically, the premise of this program is to work towards zero fatalities and incapacitating injuries on the roadways. So it was a long process. The plan's available on our website. We identified a number of locations in the region that would benefit from low-cost improvements to reduce the number of fatalities and incapacitating injuries, which is the point of the program. By virtue of having all these projects listed in our plan, they are all now eligible for funding to this program. And what we've been waiting for happened last week. Federal Highway issued another notice of funding opportunity, just under $1 billion available to fund these projects. Among other things, there's also opportunities to develop your own planning documents. A number of links are in this handout. It is up to the communities to pursue this funding because the roads are under their jurisdiction. We cannot do it, although we identified the projects. So we're encouraging communities to go after these funds. We've sent some notices out. We plan on following up with some potential project candidates. This goes through May 26th. That's when the applications are due. Also, there's some opportunity for assistance to apply for these. The Bar Foundation actually has set aside some funds to make a private consultant available to communities to pursue these grants. So, in our region, taking on extra capacity and pursuing these grants is sometimes tough. So we've been in touch with Kittleson Associates and the Bar Foundation to kind of provide some of those services. So if you're interested, we really hope to see some of these projects built. It's a really important program. Again, we're trying to get towards Vision zero, zero fatalities, incapacitating injuries. This is something we're actually measuring, by the way. And we plan on as our long range planning process as well. So it'd be great to see some of these projects funded. These are the projects we've identified. They're all eligible. This is money that would not otherwise be available. So we encourage people to pursue these projects. There's a lot of information here. Reach out to us. Brian, you have a question?
Yeah, sure, Brian. Thanks. Yeah, I was wondering if you could go back to that list. I just want to make sure if you can scroll down to my town, Lancaster. Yeah, okay. So these are Route 77 Bridge Road. Right. Okay. And then there should be two more, or is that the only two that made it on? Is that the end of the list?
There's more.
Okay. Yeah.
So Brian, I think there was in Lancaster these as well as there were some that were on state jurisdiction roads, which those are qualified for what's called a road safety audit, not like a physical improvement. But and so there's suggested countermeasures to, increase the safety at these locations. Doesn't necessarily mean that, that's the only thing you can go after, right? You can get money for any type of improvement at these locations.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm just saying we have that state decamp project that's getting a lot of attention, and I know that one of our candidate intersections was right there, but that must be the state number. That was the one at 110 and Centerbridge Road. So that's not that didn't make the list, or that's just eligible for state audit.
I'm trying to scroll through because it's been a while since I looked at this.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, George, do you remember anything like that?
No, well, there's one. Well, there's 3 Lancaster projects on page 3, and there's one more on the next page. So.
Okay, Mill Street.
Okay,
Main Street and Mill Street. There we go. Yeah, I missed it too.
Oh, Deer Shore at Sterling. Was there another? That was just that too. Okay, I guess the one I'm speaking of is Centerbridge Road and Route 110. That doesn't look like it's on there.
Yeah.
So there's on the prior page, it's not on there.
Page 3. Yeah. Center at High.
Oh, there it is. There. Okay, I wasn't looking at the green. Okay. So that one Centerbridge Road at High Street Extension is that, so that's a road safety audit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just because it's located on a state jurisdiction road.
Yeah. Okay.
So this program's it's meant for like kind of low cost improvements to local jurisdiction roads to make those improvements. So yeah, absolutely. It's that, so road safety audit, that's basically like a deep dive into, you get a bunch of professionals from different areas to go in and look and make recommendations for improvements and, at which point you would try to locate some funding. Unfortunately, the construction of that wouldn't be available through this program.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, the thing is, if DCAM goes into effect, we could have 350 units going in right at that intersection. I think the state may like that,
Yeah. So I mean, that's an opportunity if if Lancaster makes obligations to these developers to do some of these type of planning exercises, this is an opportunity to go above and beyond or just kind of, tackle that task.
Yeah.
Funding would be provided for that type of thing.
Okay, and then we could apply for. Are we limited to how many you can apply for, or?
Oh, you can do all of them
because there's the money.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Yeah, George.
Okay, so I can reach out to George for more of this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can reach out to me. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, George. All right, I'll do that because I think we'd be interested in taking advantage of this.
Great.
I could also, when Brian was discussing the Bar Association, their funding, as he mentioned, they're funding some of these projects, but they're not doing a whole list of projects, in our region. They won't be able to do that. They are selecting probably around 13 or so
Mm-hmm.
around the state. And I met with them and Mass DOT on Monday to discuss it. And basically what they will be doing with that program is reaching out to communities in our region
Mm-hmm.
with projects. And we went over this Monday. We went over the project list here, and they see some projects that think that really could get get the funds for implementation. And they will be reaching out again to the several communities in our region through that program. It's not something that we're connected to it basically on an advisory level. I'll be meeting with them often, at least once a week, to go over what the process they're doing. But other than that, you have communities, we can assist you in any way we can, but we can't really do much with the applications. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I think we can do that. I guess we're just looking for pointers in the right direction. Who do people talk to? Where are the applications?
Yeah.
What are they looking for? That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at that location for a long time, and it's been a major location for in need of safety improvements. That's for sure. Because there was a project done probably about 20 years ago there.
Mm-hmm.
When it was converted from a 5-way to a 4-way intersection, but that hasn't seemed to help out much. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, one of those is the road safety orders used to be 5 corners, now it's just 4 corners, but we still.
Yeah, the road safety audit will really identify a lot of good projects that can be done there.
Yeah.
And,
okay, good. Yeah, I probably have this somewhere, but if you could resend these links to me, that'd be great.
Yeah, so it's right in the meeting handouts.
It is the meeting handouts. Good.
Yeah, and there's links in this handout as well.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Should be enough to get going.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.
We're hoping to see more NOFOs come down pipeline, so there's still hope, for these projects. But also, we will be updating that project list. It's already 2 years old, going on 3 years old. So that project list will have to be updated at some point, so as well. So.
Yep. Yeah, I think that this program will stick around. We're a little worried because there's new federal legislation coming out in the fall, hopefully. And there's always a chance they discontinue some of these initiatives, but I think this one will stick around.
Okay. Item number 8, future agenda items. Ron?
So I put this on here to just put a bug in everyone's ear. If there's something that you think would be useful for this group, typically, especially in the spring, we're tied up with some of these federal obligations like the TIP and the UPWP and other things, which is important. That's kind of the official business. But we see this as kind of the potential to be a forum for information sharing. If there's an issue in your community related to transportation that you think you might benefit from what other communities are doing, we can set something up. We've had experts come in. We've had, various people talk about different things. I think it was last year we had Mass DOT and Sarah and Derek came and talked about how to get a TIP project initiated. The MPO staff has gone over some of the projects we've done in the region. So as kind of the official business season winds down, what we typically do is we go every other month, like starting in July, typically. But we're there'll be more opportunities to bring things like that into this group, not to extend, waste your time or anything, but have some discussions that are beneficial to everyone. So feel free to, give me a call, give me an email with a suggested agenda item. I talked to a member last month about she's wondering, she just wants a sidewalk near her house. Run into some hurdles there. If there can be some information sharing on how communities kind of tackle those issues, we think that that would be useful. So open invitation on that.
Okay. Number 9, status reports. The Mark. Michael, you have anything from
Yes.
Mark?
Yes. So I remember last month during the meeting I mentioned we'll be closing the service for Air, Devon's, Shirley, and Lancaster's microtransits. But within the last 2 weeks, we received Matt received about $19,000, no, $190,000 to run microtransit service, and we are using these funds to extend the service for Air, Devons, Shirley, and Lancaster microtransits door-to-door service for these communities. But on the microtransit side, because it's 20 miles, it's quite expensive for us running the service. So a way to sustain it more might be an upcoming service change on our microtransits, because we realized a lot of people are using it for the 20 miles, and these services are run by our taxi companies. So Mart has no Mart use these taxi companies to run this service, and we make sure they follow our contract obligations. So they running these long miles, drains the funds that fast. So yeah, I would like to announce the extension of the service, but also call for the preparation towards an upcoming service change, and otherwise it would end in few months. So that is the update I have on my side. Hi, Brian.
Okay.
You are muted.
No?
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, so not sure if this helps with the viability of the Lancaster stop, but we're in the early pipelines of an applicant. So just right across the street from where the stop is at the Ambrosia, there could be not a different project, could be up to 150 or to 200 units of new housing. So, we're hoping that the locality of that bus stop will help those people use that to get to the train station or another transportation mode. So again, I just want to put that, I don't know if that helps with the viability. And that's going to be, a year to 2 years out, of course, before all those residents are living there. But hopefully that'll include, increase the feasibility of having that stop there.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. I will earmark this for upcoming future changes, and that section is covered by our Route 8. So I'll note this down and monitor as these changes and these new developments come up. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Next item is the MRPC. Brian or
Yep. The
George?
one thing I wanted to share is our project list, our grant list I've been sharing. So this was updated April 2nd. It's provided in the handouts. The Safe Streets is on here, among a number of other things. So our planning and development department's done a great job of keeping this up to date. So should be a good resource for everyone. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else from the MRPC? Okay. Item 10, administrative matters. Next meeting, May 13th. Is that correct, Brian?
That's right. May 13th at 2:30.
Very good. Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention that I'll be placing a revised announcement, no phone announcement, no full flyer in the folder. will have my contact information. The current one in there doesn't have my contact information. So I just want to let you know that I'll be replacing that one that's in the folder.
Okay, George. Motion to adjourn. I'll make the motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.